everybody. Today I'm going to use up my leftover ham from Christmas and we're going to make us some awesome, and I mean awesome, breakfast casserole for dinner. BFD. Breakfast for dinner. Let's see how I make it. Let's do this. First things first, I'm going to bust us up some eggs. And I'm going to use a whole dozen because I'm making a 9 by 13. Now this recipe you can make ahead, or like I'm doing, make it for tonight. If you're making it ahead, just cover it in foil, stick it in the fridge. Isn't this exciting? But hey, if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Let me tell you what I do here. We don't waste food on this channel. That's a biggie. Secondly, I have recipes from all over the world. No fool. So if you're tired of being in a rut, eating the same old thing all the time, I guarantee you, if you look at my videos, you will be pleasantly surprised. Okie doke. So next we're going to add some seasoning, because everything I cook has flavor. So we're going to do a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, followed by that was onion powder, followed by a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. Then we're going to break out the big guns and go with a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. We're also going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of oregano. Actually, I think we're going to go full on teaspoon. There we go. Finally, we're going to add about a 1/2 cup of milk, which I'm eyeballing. Now, let's whisk this up. You need to beat these eggs thoroughly. Beat them like they owe you money, as I like to say. Where are my money, eggs? Where is it? Look at that. It's looking good. I'm going to call that beaten. And I'm sure if you ask the eggs, they'd say the same thing. They done got beaten. Next, I got my 9 by 13 and a big old dollop of the Kerrygold butter. And we're going to butter this pan up good, because everything we have in here goes good with butter. You can use margarine if you're scared, but butter's where it's at. All the cool kids use butter. Bam. Done. Now, tater tots, any kind you want. I suggest you go cheap. And what these guys are going to do is they are going to just act like potatoes that you've cooked all day long. Now you can see here that I'm being all fancy because we want to use the whole bag. And we want a solid layer of potatoes on the bottom. So I'll get back with you when I'm done. Look at that, isn't that pretty? And it didn't totally take me any time at all. Now what you probably can't see here is I'm lightly sprinkling on, by pinching it out of the container, some Lowry seasoned salt. Why Lowry's? Because it's good. This is 1 small onion that I diced up. And we're just going to spread it around. And this is just some red and green bell pepper that I had in my freezer that I cut up all nice. I'm telling you. If ever you have leftover pepper that you're not using for any reason at all, cut it into strips and throw it into the freezer. You're always going to be happy you did, because you're never out. This is 3 to 4 cups of ham. We had a big old Christmas Eve party, and we bought the biggest honey baked ham that they had. And we had 50 people almost, well 40. And they ate a lot. However, there was so much food going on around here, y'all. Nobody could have eaten that whole thing. So, here I am with leftovers. And honey baked ham, as you all know, is super good. Super good. And super expensive. So I ain't wasting none of it. No, sir, no ma'am. Okay. Now, let me wash my hand. Next, we've got us some sharp cheddar cheese. And I'm only going to put like a half a cup of this down because it's very sharp. And because I have cheddar jack that will also be putting down. This is a pretty cheesy thing here. Alright, finally, we're going to pour this on. Want to be careful when you pour, don't dump it, because it'll just make everything shift in there and move around. Alright. And just for gee whiz, let's add some more sharp to it. What do you say? Alright. Now, let's cover this baby with foil, because, after all, our hash browns were frozen. So we're going to put this in a 350 degree oven for 40 minutes. Then we're going to take the foil off and cook it for another 15 so that the top gets nice and caramelized, that cheese. See you then. Scram, there it is. Scram. So we're gonna let this cool just for a minute and then we're gonna dig in. Let's do this. Ooh. Peanuts. Stop. Check it out. Yum City.